Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, November 15th, 2016. Are we seriously halfway through November already? Unbelievable, we are. Nice trading day for us on Monday. As I said, coming into this week, I really thought this was going to be a great trading week. And, certainly starting out well. We had 6 out of 7 winners on the stock side with market support. We had some futures winners. We have a Forex winner, not that this particular recording applies to that. So it's very interesting overall. Good trading day. All right, let's start to look at the markets here and see what we can see. Here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. Didn't really do much today. We'll look at the, matter of fact, literally the S&P closed down less than a point. So as flat as can be on the markets, as we seem to have stalled out a bit here. Still no new highs, of course. We'll talk about the rest of it in a bit. I did want to pull up the dollar index. This isn't something we usually cover in this particular recording because this is not the Forex recording, but we have had a nice run in the dollar the last 4 days, and we just got a secret 13 sell signal on the dollar index, so I just wanted to point that out. All right, let's go through the major indices, and then we'll talk about what we need to say. Here's a look at gold, down 210 again. Not a big move there in gold. Oil up 22 cents, also not a big move. What's great about today is how well we did, considering the fact the indices don't look like they did much. Here's a look at the S&P cash index, like I said, down 0.25, essentially unchanged for the day. However, once again, the NASDAQ 100 down 50 points. And the key here is look at the low of last week, 46, 47, 59. So, we got another 50 points or so 55 points till we're cracking, and that's the low print since back in August or July there. So once we crack that base, you've got a head and shoulders formation here, by the way. So that's the warning sign. That'll be the real trigger for the sell-off on the NASDAQ side if we break that. Stocks down 5, still has not made new highs. Biotechs were up again, up 52.85. So this is the sector that's benefiting the most. This is banks from the Trump victory. Usually say as go banks and biotech, so goes the market. In this particular case, I'm not sure that's going to be the way it goes. VIX up 31 cents to 14.48. Now here's where it gets interesting, folks. The trend closed at 0.55, another low close on the trend after closing finally above 1 on Friday. But look at this. This brings the 10-day moving average down to 0.8. Remember, anything under 0.85 is considered a sell signal on the broad market. This is the lowest reading on the 10-day that we've had in over a year. I think even back when it dipped. Yeah, we never got to this level on the moving average back in February. So this is pretty bad. And the other thing to keep in mind is that the number that will be 10 days back, so meaning it'll drop off the 10-day moving average tomorrow, is actually this very high reading at 1.34. Or 1.33 back on the 2nd of November. So that means any number on the trend tomorrow that's lower than 1.33 and the moving average will actually move down because that 1.33 gets replaced by another number. Now, obviously, if we get a big reading on the trend tomorrow, that could do it. But either way, the sell signal on the broad market is in place. This is the most important thing right now. And I also talked about, I'm going to skip here to something else. Let's go to the TLT. This is the 20-year bond ETF. And I talked about the fact that until this bottomed, a lot of money, a lot of money coming out of bonds. Huge volume on these. Another big volume day today, despite the fact that Friday had a big volume day, but it was Veterans Day. But now this is 11 candles down, and it was more of a flat day. We went lower, then we kind of came back a bit. So maybe we're starting to see that low in the bonds finally. We talked about the fact that the market would probably roll after they got done selling the bonds off. So if this is within a day or two of the bottom in bonds, at least short-term bottom, trend's getting the readings that it is, the signs are starting to build up if you understand market internals. Let's take a look at NASDAQ volume. 2.1 billion, back up a bit from Friday, although Friday was Veterans Day. That's good volume. Hey, it's leading to good trades, right? That's what we care about here at Tradesight is trading, and it certainly is leading to good trades. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ plus 519. So again, more stocks up than down, even though the NASDAQ was down 50. The big ones are taking the hit. The advanced decline ratio in the New York is up plus 151, so basically even, about the same amount of stocks up and down, a few more up. Google, here's how you tell the story, right? Google down another 18.5 points. Apple down $2.72. Amazon down $19.94. Big sell-off in Amazon over the last week here. Netflix down $1.40. new lows for the month. We'll ignore the put call for now. Tesla down 7. All right, and then the Dow, and this is what I love. This is what I talk to people about. Here it is, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, up 21 points for the day. When you look at the news, everything's all right, nothing to see here. Dow's up 21. Nothing positive in the market today, really, and yet Dow's up 21. This is how it happens, folks. I've been pointing this out. All right, let's take a look at the intraday action. Here's the ES in 5-minute candles. Really a boring day on the futures. I mean, we made some money on the futures. We had 2 short plays that worked out good on the ES, but you know we opened up a little bit. And by the way, yeah, we opened up a little bit, filled the gap quickly, tried to go higher, rolled over, bottomed out over lunch, closed about at the midpoint of the day. Meanwhile, the NASDAQ side, you know, obviously much steeper. This is where the money was made. If you look over the review of our trades for the session, and I've already posted it, so I'll show you here. You know, we did have our top pick off the report, the long idea, Urban, triggered right out of the gate, but worked really well. PRTA, another one that worked, and this one was on the long side, did not have market support at the time. Rich had a call this morning, and this is, you know, keep in mind, this is not your typical stock NSE. It's not really something that follows the market. So you can take this with or without market support technically, but look at the nice long idea. 101.19 hits almost 105, big winner there. Energy stock, LNG, a little bit of money made on the short side there, and then Facebook was a nice winner on the short side. Amgen took a little while, nice winner. AGN, great winner on the short side, worked well. Wells Fargo is the only thing really of the day that didn't work. So, excuse me. Ooh, that's fun. All right, and then like I said, the future stuff was good. Forex, we're actually the dollar's getting stronger. We're short the euro. We still have a call well in the money from the second half of last night's trade. So overall, just a great day on calls here at Tradesight. In terms of economic data, on Tuesday, an hour before the bell, we've got retail sales, import-export prices, and Empire Manufacturing. 30 minutes after the market, we got business, or into the market, we got business inventories. Still to come, a lot of big data later on this week. But again, hey, here's the one thing I would say. I say this every time the market starts to roll like this, and I know it's been a while, but here's the way it works. Okay, you can play both directions on any given day with market support. Market support is so important here. But every time market support is red, and you can find short entry points, get involved, stay involved. Try and keep a piece of the trade on, because this has the real potential to turn into a big downward move, and you want to have something going. The flip side is, if you do get into a long position, because market direction is green at the time, and by green we have a specific measurement for that, I'm not just saying up or down for the day. If you get a chance to get into that, make sure that if market direction rolls, you get out of those longs. This is that type of environment. It's very important. You don't want to be left holding the bag if something goes wrong here. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great Trading Tuesday.